Lauren Saunders. Welcome to Entrepreneur Talks podcast run by Women Flakes. It's such a pleasure to have you here with me today.
Thanks so much for having me. I can't wait to chat. I'm just so happy to be here.
Fantastic. So before we go to your story, to your journey, tell me, where are you talking from?
I currently am in Toronto, Canada.
Fantastic. And how is the weather there?
It's cold,
It's cold.
very cold, and we are on level 10 lockdown. So it's the middle of winter, but that's okay. We'll make it through.
Right, that's right. It's the same here in London, United Kingdom. And one thing I always thought is like, because I'm on the other side of the world, kind of, I never thought like you would be on the same weather, so you are on autumn or winter?
No,
Winter.
and it's like minus 10, minus 15 degrees Celsius, so it's cold.
So it's more cold than here then. Okay. Okay, good. Good luck. But there we go. We are on lockdown 10. Is that lockdown 10? This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we living this. So now let's go to yourself. Lauren, in 3 words, could you tell me about yourself as a person? 3 words. Explain who is Lauren. Yeah.
Dreamer, creator, teacher.
And what? Sorry, I couldn't hear. Ah, okay, good. Your microphone, I think sometimes the voice is not coming properly. Can
Oh,
you can you hear me properly?
you're cutting out a little bit too, so I don't know if it's just
Oh,
the
now it's
internet.
now it's
Now,
better.
okay, good.
Much better, much better. Okay, so how I am so as I mentioned before, I know you from the past. I know you a lot of about you, and I'm so excited because it's someone that I've been following all these years, and I know how your progress has been going, like growing, 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 and this is amazing. Would you like to bring like a little bit about your story to my
Yeah.
place?
Well, first of all, just thank you because you just never know, who's listening, who's watching, and so when I meet someone new who says, "Oh, I've been watching you for ages," it's just really humbling. So, um, anyways, yeah, my name is Lauren Saunders. I am a business mentor, and I initially went to school for visual arts and for teaching. And after university, I moved to Australia, and I taught there for almost 3 years before moving back home to Canada. And I started applying for jobs here in Toronto when I got home, and I just had a really hard time finding a job. It's very difficult in Ontario to get full-time work. It can take years. But I also felt this real pull, this intuitive knowing that I was not meant to have a 9 to 5 job for the next 40 years. Like nothing about it interested me. And it gave me a lot of anxiety. I was applying for jobs. I was living at my parents' place, just trying to get back on my feet here in Australia. I was 27 at the time. And sorry, here in Toronto after moving home from Australia. And I was applying for these jobs and in the back of my mind going, I want more though. I want, teaching is an incredible career, but I wanted possibility. I wanted freedom. I wanted, just to create my life however it is that I desired to, but I didn't believe that that was available to me. I went to school for art. I wasn't any kind of business person. I didn't identify as an entrepreneur at all. However, I ended up getting a 2-day a week teaching job here in Toronto. This was about 5 years ago now. And I moved to Toronto, but 2 days a week obviously was not enough. And I decided to start my first business, which was doing eyelash extensions from home. And I didn't have any background in aesthetics, but I had a background in visual arts and I'm very fine detail oriented. And I had a friend who had a lash business in Australia who that was the first I'd ever even heard of eyelash extensions. And I just thought this is something that I could do. And So it really at the time was meant to just be some extra money on the side of my part-time job, but it really took off for me. And in about 3 months time, I had a full-time clientele working from home. And I just loved the freedom that it gave me. And it really proved me like all of my limiting beliefs wrong around not being able to be a business owner, right? I went, well, you're making full-time income and part-time hours sitting in your living room, working with people that you love. And it just gave me a taste. And so flash forward about a year and a half, I started really diving into the world of manifestation and law of attraction and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And just the idea that we can create anything that we can align our energy with, our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, anything, any level of money, any level of success. It doesn't matter who you are, what background you came from, what your education is. None of those things matter. You get in life what it is that you are exuding, essentially. And so I dove into that whole world. It had never really spoken to me previously, but all of a sudden I just, you know, was awake, and I knew that so I started reading every book that came my way. I watched so many videos, and within a couple of months I was giving my resignation into my teaching job, because I knew that I was going to just follow, you know, follow the nudges, follow my intuition. And all I knew was I'm going to do something online. I'm going to have some kind of online business because I wanted location freedom. And it's going to be something that has the capacity to grow into $1 million business. And I had no idea what that was at the time that I left my career, but I just thought, I'm just going to go and see what happens. And trusting that I was going to be, I'd really gotten quite spiritual at that point, even though I'd never been previously. I was starting to understand, you know, this world of manifestation and creation is really one that's based in science, and it's okay to trust, and it's okay to believe in things that are outside of us, or believe in something more than us. I was, for the first time in my life, really grasping all of that. And so I believed that if I took a leap of faith, that the universe would provide and show me the way. And I started my second business, which was online coaching I really wanted to help business owners. And that was something I figured out after leaving my teaching career. I really wanted to help business owners. And long story short, I launched a bunch of programs that totally failed. I went super into debt. I spent the first 9-10 months of my business struggling. But then I had an idea to start helping Lash Boss, my program and my group were called Lash Boss, lash artists, to build their businesses, to give them the mindset and the marketing strategies that they needed. And that really took off for me. I built a large Facebook group. I had a program that I launched every 4 months that made lots of money and had lots of people sign up. And that transitioned me over the last couple of years. I no longer do anything with lashes, but I help now predominantly other online creators, coaches, course creators, content creators who are wanting to build a business similar to the one I have, where we create online offers, we market them, we build our online audience. And, you know, like I just closed out yesterday, my business's second biggest month, just from a launch of a program that I was doing. And so, you know, it's been quite the journey, but I've more than quadrupled what I used to make as a full-time teacher. I really do not work full-time at all. And I feel like I'm just getting started. I have plans on growing this into a global brand and international. I mean, it already is international, but I have plans the next couple of years for it to be a 7-figure company. And, you know, I was not the business person in school. I knew nothing about business. I wasn't the smartest person grades wise. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't, you know, I have an older sister who was brilliant.
Potential, like you thought like it's not your good thing, something good in you, like creating that kind of business. You never thought about, right?
No, I didn't think it was available to me. I thought I have to go to school and be a teacher and then do that because that's what people do. Is you find a job that's good, that you can, you know, find some enjoyment in, hopefully. And you do that until you're 65, and that's it. And I believed that because that's what we're told, right? And so once I started reading the stories and the books and watching the videos of people saying otherwise, I realized, well, these people don't have anything I don't have. I mean, they might have an understanding of how to build an online business, but I can learn that, you know? So, I think with my story, what I hope to share with people is just that you can create any reality you desire. If you have a vision for it, you can manifest it. That's it. And it's not easy by any means. It's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of inner work. It's a lot of your own stuff you got to work through on a daily basis. But my God, is it worth it?
That's good. That's so good. I was about to ask you that, Lauren. It's never been hard, like it's never been easy. I know. I'm aware of that because I totally understand. But it's a lot of inner work, like just you said, and that inner work is something that needs to come from ourselves to be able to give to others. Because now you have a how I call you have a big like a big business that you never thought before, till the day you start to think no, to believe in yourself, to believe that was possible for you. And the law of attraction, it's a magic thing. And I know I want you to talk a little bit more about what the law of attraction, what happened, what did to your life in terms of confidence and identity. What level are you in that terms?
So one thing I want to say there is that the law of attraction is not magic, actually. The way in which our thoughts as human beings create reality is a proven quantum physics principle that is largely not understood or even known about people, or by people rather. Uh, so I resisted it for a long time because I thought that it was, woo woo. I thought that it was magic, and I didn't really believe in that. Once I started getting into the science of it, I realized like this is just the way that it is. And a lot of people, a lot of quantum physicists who are sharing this information are it's less so now, but have largely been, people just reject it because it sounds so crazy, but it's literally what you put your thoughts towards becomes reality. We are all that powerful, and it's been proven, but people are just waking up to it. And it's, a lot. Anyways, we could really go down the conspiracy theory web of if we wanted to. I won't go there in terms of why people have been withheld from this information. But yeah, it essentially really is that we all have a reality that is a perfect reflection of our beliefs. So, if you believe that you have to work really hard in order just to pay bills, you're going to work really hard just to pay bills. If you believe that you are not worth people's money or investment as a business owner, you're not going to have clients, right? So you have to go within, and there's a whole other, sector of the mindset and manifestation work that I talk about, which is subconscious reprogramming and really understanding how our brains work as human beings. And so building very simple put is about wiring in a new story or a new belief through repetition. The subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of the 70,000 thoughts we think in a day. So we think that we're choosing our thoughts. We think that we're choosing, how it is that we operate, but we're really not. It's all programmed. It's all just a subconscious program that's running, but you can rewire that program. You can create a new program that is based in belief, that is, going to allow you to receive more money and success. And you can do that through affirmations, lots of different inner work. I've drawn a lot of inspiration just seeing other people create success for themselves. And that's really opened my mind up to believing that someone like me can build a multiple 7-figure business because I've seen other people do it. And that's why, for me, I'm very open about the money that I make and things like that, because that was the difference maker for me when I was getting started. And even now, women, especially who were willing to talk about the kind of money they were making, I went, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And so, I know it triggers people sometimes to talk about money openly, or it comes across as bragging or whatever. And that's fine if that's how people view it. But for me, I want women to know that someone like me, because I'm not special. I just had a real desire. I had a strong desire to build this business and this life for myself. But otherwise, if I can do it, so can you. And I know that you said that to me at the beginning. So, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
let me just tell you one note, because I did mention magic, but the way I mentioned magic was not like a magic bling bling and that's it. The magic is because for me, when I said that, is like trying to explain that the law of attraction is magic, because when you get it, when you understand, and when you use it right, everything happens to us. Everything happens. You can do anything you want through
Yeah.
your, that's the way,
And
that's the way I was putting magic. But I love that you explained to me, and now I'm going to change, because some people, or even myself, I normally use magic because it's a easy name, a easy word, because can't you see the word that you use is not very, is well known as well, but depends who we're talking. And and the gen,
totally.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I totally agree with you. And I even had a call with my coach the other day, and we decided that like I have a couple different words for the year, and one of them needs to be magic because it's a feeling. Like when things are just blowing up around you, and people are reaching out and buying things off your website, and you're able to continue just building more and more of an abundant life for yourself, it is magic for sure. I just find that it has really helped both my level of belief, but also it has helped me reach people who would otherwise reject the idea that we create our reality, to explain it in more scientific terms that they can accept.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Lauren.
So
So,
yeah,
and then following this magic, or the scientific definition, how to create more abundance and step into your power. I know we are talking about it, but what would you say?
well, first, creating more abundance, that looks different for different people. Some people want to make $1 million. Some people want to be able to leave their job. Some people just, abundance to them, and it really should be for all of us, is in the sunset and it's in the flowers on the side of the road. Abundance is something that you tune into. It's a frequency. And I I mean, I could talk about it all day long, but I co-host a second podcast, and the tagline is "Abundant Mind, Abundant Life." So, I mean, when you go to work on your beliefs about yourself, and that starts to look like, what beliefs do I have around why I can't have an extraordinary life or a huge level of success? That's where it would start. But abundance to me is like, it's in my morning cup of coffee. It's, through these kinds of conversations, I'm just always finding appreciation for the ways in which I already have a lot of abundance in my life. That being said, when I am intentionally wanting to draw in more money and hit that next level of income for myself, I'm visualizing my life in, some gorgeous, giant, multi-million dollar home in Toronto. I'm visualizing, when I was starting my business, I really wanted to be able to leave my lash clientele, or retire my lash clientele. And I wanted to have my first $10,000 a month. And that would sort of enable, like, one thing is, don't just tune into amounts of money, tune into what those amounts of money do for you in your life, because that's why you want the money in the first place, right? And the more that you can get your emotions behind your visualizations, the more powerful they're going to be. So if it's a $10,000 month or consistent 10K months, why do you want that? Is it that you want to leave your job? Is it that you want to travel, if the world goes back to normal anytime soon? And create that in your visualizations, take yourself there. And that was what had me really catapult into, I had struggled for a long time, for like the better part of a year. And then I started really each day prioritizing my visualization practice, which was like just 10 minutes of me imagining myself in first person walking through the streets of Rome in Italy. I really wanted to go to Italy and travel there for a while, which I did. And it signified for me having made enough money in my business that I could leave my first business behind. It signified that I'd had at least 1 or 2 10K months for me, because that was like, where I wanted to be. And so I had this visualization, and it totally ended up manifesting. And I always tell people, whatever you repeatedly visualize must materialize. It's that when we're not being conscious about it, what we're usually thinking about and visualizing, whether we know it or not, is like, well, what if nobody signs up for this offer that I've put out there? Or what if I can't pay my bills at the end of the month? Or what if this business never works? And the universe says anything that you are thinking about. So becoming more abundant through feeling into the emotions and thinking the thoughts that you will be thinking when that thing you desire manifests, as if it is happening now. That's really the key.
So powerful, and it really makes sense, because it's a lot of places where you can find, like, create your own calendar, or with your ear, specify you want this, you want that, you want that. But then this feeling that you just mentioned now about behind the vision that you're creating is really important. I love that. I I'm just learning as well, because I do have my vision board and I'm like, okay, I want this. But now getting under behind the scene from that vision that I'm looking and then feeling why I want 10K amount. I want to use for what? That's so good. It's
And
very
I mean, I have vision boards, and I had a white Mercedes SUV on like every vision board I created for the past 6 years. That was just, every time I saw a white Mercedes SUV, I thought, I want that. And the last year I really was having car problems. I was going to need to get a new car. And so I started, it wasn't enough that that car was just on my vision board, right? It had been there for ages. What I needed to do was actually put myself in that scene. And so every time I drove my old car, I was imagining the Mercedes steering wheel, and I had a picture of it, like from the driver's seat on the screen of my phone. And I would like put myself in the car and imagine that I would smell how good a new car smelled and all these things. And I did end up manifesting I obviously went out and bought the car that I wanted, but the money showed up for it, all the things, right? So now I've got my white Mercedes SUV, and it happened after a few months of me imagining myself having it. Not like having it on a vision board is great, but if you're not actually putting yourself into the emotion of that reality manifested, it's going to take some time. You can really speed it up by putting yourself in that scene in your mind. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what you are imagining and what is real. It will literally light up the way for you when it thinks, that it's happening now.
wow, that's amazing. That's really good. I'm gonna take this for me, and I hope everyone can feel inspired about it. So our conversation will have to finish very soon. And before we end up, just tell to my listeners and to myself where people can find you and connect with you.
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at Lauren C. Saunders, and that's kind of the place where all of my different things come together, and that's where I hang out and love to chat with people. I've been doing a lot on Clubhouse lately, and I'm just Lauren Saunders on there. And I have two different podcasts, one of which is called The Aligned Entrepreneur, and it's all of this stuff, manifestation as an entrepreneur, mindset work as an entrepreneur, in order to align with and manifest those next level money months for yourself. And then I co-host another podcast called The Lo and Zo Show, and it's more general mindset, self-development, manifestation, just for anyone. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. So those are all the places they can find me.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And all this website, links, social media will be on the description of the podcast when it comes live, so anyone can get in touch with you. And I'm sure even before they start, when they start to listen our conversation, they will start to look for you and get connected. Do you give permission, or how I say this? Do you have any free calls to anyone if wants to get in touch with you or not?
If somebody is very seriously considering working with me, then I encourage them to send me a voice message or even just a text on Instagram, and I'm happy to chat there. I no longer do any kind of discovery calls. I believe that you can create your business however it aligns with you. And I decided last year that I was going to be calling in people that were ready to jump in. Doesn't mean that you can't have questions. It just means that a call isn't necessary. So I don't have anywhere where they can book a free call with me, but I have lots of different programs and offers, and they're free to send me questions on Instagram if they've got any.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lauren. All the best, continuously growing and bringing opportunity to other women. I believe you work, I forgot to ask you this, but who is your clientele? Is more women or is...
It's women. I have had a number of male clients, but it is almost completely, at least in my coaching programs, it is people who have online coaching and course creation businesses, and people that are into everything that we talked about today, mindset and manifestation, who are, as I refer to as, aligned entrepreneurs. So that's what.
Okay, that's good. So yes, so anyone can enjoy and be in touch with you whenever they want. And thank you so much once again, and all the best. God bless you, and namaste. Take care. Bye bye.